All right, last day before Santa Claus comes. Happy Friday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. I hope we're all in the Christmas spirit and smiling inside and looking for ways we can make others smile today. As we go through the weekend, we just want to wish everybody a big Merry Christmas, and we hope you have a great time with friends, family, loved ones. So excited for you to have that time. So we're going to finish up today going into the weekend with the word future. What does that mean to you? What does your future look like? Like what does 2023 look like for you? Where are you going? What are you doing? Who you with? All that good stuff. Future. If you look at the definition, it's that is to be, time yet to come, occurring at a later time. And I'll tell you where I went this morning. Peter Drucker, I've actually pointed this out before. Peter made a quote years ago that said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. I've told that to myself many a times. When I was a coach, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And here's the hard thing. How many of you would agree that we can't change the past? When I was a coach, I would go through a football season and have a really good team, an experienced team, a team I was comfortable around, a team that I had been to war with and battle with, and I loved coaching them. And then they would graduate. And I'd find myself in a funk looking towards the future because I was too focused on the past, the good times, the times we've had, but life is all about change. Life is all about setting our sights on what's to be and where we're at, not what was, right? So I think we'd all agree we can't change the past. It's what it is. It's bow tied up, wrapped up, and we can't unwrap it. And if we're not careful, if I'm not careful, the past could make me bitter. Have you ever been there where you're mad that something happened and you can't go forward because you're looking backwards and you're bitter? You're bitter because it happened. But here's the thing. Got to look at the good book. Can't focus there. Can't focus there. It'll make us bitter. So we can create our own future. Great example of that is the Great Depression. I've talked about that on here. If you look at the history, I love history. People living in the Great Depression had so many reasons to be bitter of what happened in the past. It decimated them. It financially put people in bad situations. People lost their life during the Great Depression. But the people that focused on coming out of it, focused on what it could be, focused on the future, created something really special from that adversity. And so here's where I went this morning. I don't know where you're at, but this is going to relate to somebody. I want to show you a plan. Here's the difference between focusing on the bitter and focusing on the plan for the future. And I just showed this. This is just one example. You could apply this to your health. You could apply this to relationships, whatever you want to do. What are you doing to better your future? Or what am I doing? Andrea, if you could show this real quick, if you don't mind. And I focused this morning on one example is a business plan. So I want you to think about this. I could focus on, let's just say that my business in 2022 wasn't that great. Let's say that it got decimated. Let's say that it didn't grow. So for 2023, I'm going to focus, I want my business to grow for my money to grow. If I want to grow, I got to grow. I got to get bigger, right? That's just what it is. If I want my money to grow, I got to get bigger. So Andrea, blank that off the screen first before you do this. This is important. This is important because here's the thing. How many of you have, I know I have, has sit there before and said, man, I want my business to get bigger. And every day I get up, I say, man, I want my business to get bigger. Man, I got to have more money. And you're sitting there and you know your end result, you know what you want, but you're not focusing on how to get it. You're not focusing on the lead measure. You're focusing on the lag measure of what you want. I've done it so many times. I want to win a state championship. Well, guess what? Congratulations. Every other coach does too. I want to make more money. Congratulations. I don't think there's a human in the world that is going into 2023 going, I want to make less money. But the question is, who's going to come into 2023 with the game plan to do it? Okay. So I'm going to flip back, Andrea, if you will. I didn't want you reading that. I just wanted to give you an example. Okay. So here's an example. I look at my sales figures. Okay. I look at, let's say it's a compensation plan. We're all in different businesses, but let's take sales. I need 5,000 in sales to create $750. Okay. I just use numbers. So go with me here. You got to figure it out. And that's based off 15% bring home on sales. So I break it down a little bit further and I go, okay, I need 50 people purchasing $100 a day to get to the end of the week of 5,000 sales, $5,000 in sales. You follow me? Everybody follow me? Let me see in the chats. I can't see. Okay. You follow me, put it in the chats where I can see. Then I break it down a little bit further and I go, okay, I could leverage people if I'm in a plan that leverages people's efforts, right? It's a beautiful thing about network marketing. It's not just all on me. It's leveraging people's efforts to create a goal. So I've got like 100 agents, but only 4 of them are motivated. How many of you know people that are not motivated? You go, man, I just wished everybody would be motivated. Yes, yes, we all would. Jim Rohn said, don't try to do that. Don't take that course because it'll drive you nuts. So I've got 4 people that I know. Samantha's motivated. Eva Marie's motivated. Dwight's motivated. Melissa Jackson's motivated. All right. I got 4 in myself. That's 5. So I'm going to break it down a little further. That means I need 10 sales per day or per week from each of us. Okay. 5 people, 10 sales, 50 sales. Then I break it down a little further. Well, that's 1.42 sales per day over a 7-day plan. Or I could get 2 sales per day from each of us over a 5-day period. To reach the 10 I need for the week, to reach the 50 I need for the week. Okay. So then I break it down a little bit further and I say, talk to 10 people per day to get 2 sales based on a 20% conversion rate. So I know I got to go out and talk to 10 people to get my 2 sales, right? For the day. And I'm going to create a board where the other 4 and me are competing to get our 2 sales per day, which would be 10 sales collectively for the day. And if we work over a 5-day period, that would be 50 sales, and I would achieve my forecast of creating 5,000 in sales and $750 take home. Do you see what I did? I took a goal and then I focused on what I got to do to attain it all the way down to the daily action. I could do that with weight loss. I could do that with relationships. I got to figure out the thing that I want to do going into 2023 to excel. So hope this helped. Andrea, that's where I went this morning with future. So I'll turn it to you.
Well, shockingly enough, I went in a completely different direction. So I love that. I love that you really broke that down. And that was a great visual of what we all kind of need to do to reach a goal. But the quote that I found said, I'm more interested in the future than in the past, because the future is where I intend to live. And that's Albert Einstein. I thought, wow, sometimes, like Coach said, we can get caught up in what happened yesterday and we forget that we've got to live today and plan for tomorrow. So how do we create the future that we want? I'm going to say the first thing is make good friends with uncertainty and change. Things are always changing, always evolving. That this life that we live is not going to be the same tomorrow or next week or next year. Most likely, like we might have some ruts we get into, but the world just keeps on changing. So a quick tip on how to figure out how to make friends with people with change is look around in your life. And I bet there's some people that you can identify that have had like really big life changes, maybe a bunch of them, and they just roll with it, right? They just really do well with change. So identify them and then see what you can learn from them, because they're giving you skills, they just don't even know it. And the second thing that we can do to create the future we want is to practice relentless. And I love that word, relentless self-development. So every single day, throw something in your brain that is improving it. So it could be audios. Like I love Audible. I listen to books all the time. Any chance that I have a little bit of, free airspace, I'm listening probably to some kind of self-development book. I love reading, like sitting down with like a pencil or pen in hand, working through a book, really getting it in there, watch YouTube, wherever you can find it, but just practice improving yourself every single day. The third thing is remove and improve. And, we can all kind of look at our life, and we've talked about habits before, that we all have things that we do every day. We get up, we make our bed, we brush our teeth, we use the restroom, we get, like all the different things that we do. But I'm going to bet if you're like me, there's things in our day and maybe in every single day that are no longer serving us, but they're just part of who we are. They're just part of our habits, and we don't even think about them anymore. But if you take a moment to kind of look around your life and ask yourself, if I wasn't already doing this today, would I start doing it now? So if you weren't having, I don't know, the third cup of coffee every day, and you know what you know about caffeine and your brain and whatever, would you continue to get into that habit of drinking that third cup of coffee? And maybe you'd choose no, so cut it out. Right. And there could be a variety of different things, but just look at your life, remove what isn't serving you. And then lastly, determine your goals, but not just at work. I don't know if you guys can be guilty of this, but I can get hyper focused in just one area. Like I think the only place I can have goals is in my business. But we can have goals everywhere. I can have goals with my relationship with my kids. I can have goals with my physical health. I can have goals with how often I call, my family, whatever it is. But look around your entire life and figure out what goals do we really want for our future, and put a plan in place, just like Brent showed us, to create the future that we want. So I love this one. Thank you so much for this, Coach. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Love you guys.
Andrew, a great lesson. And yeah, I see people's backgrounds. I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Jim, like yours, Gloria, I don't even know if that's a background you got. That could be your home. So, wow, that's beautiful, Gloria, just so you know, just giving you a shout out. So I just again want to wish, and we might have had the biggest blessing ever today to see Dwight back at home from the hospital. So Dwight, big shout out to you, brother. Glad you're home for Christmas with your daughter at her home. And let me know when you run out of Limu, and I'll be right over. I'll play Santa Claus. I'll be right over to deliver. So just let me know when you're getting close. And guys, we want you to have a Merry Christmas. We love each and every one of you. We'll see you back after Christmas on Monday, and we'll keep moving into the new year. So
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.